Well, guys, we did it. After playing this game when I was 4 years old, this copy right here, Metroid Prime 1, little did I know that in 2008, when I was 4, when I first played this game, that it would be my favorite game of all time from the GameCube. Little did I know, 17 years later, which was after Prime 3 was already out, so that's 18 years since Prime 3 today. Well, not today, but this year. We would be getting Metroid Prime 4 on December 4th. I'm recording this the day before. I'm going to have this part of the video at least. And man, all I can say is this is the cream of the crop. Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3 is my favorite trilogy of all time. I know I didn't make a video on 2 and 3. I really thought they were going to do it at some point, but I will go back and make a video. And because they haven't done it yet, I'm thinking they're going to have a bigger one for 2 and 3. And if not, I'll still just make a video on it anyway. They're just too amazing of games to not make a video on. Metroid Prime 2 is actually my second favorite game of all time, so Metroid Prime 3 is not number 3, it's in the top 5 at least. This remaster is the best remaster ever made. I played both these back to back, and I'm like, yep, those are good. So, yeah, dawn of the final day. The next part of this video is going to be me picking it up from freaking Best Buy, man. I cannot believe there's not only a 4th game in this series, but I actually made it here after everything I've gone through in those 8.5 years since 2017. You would not believe. We are finally here. After 8.5 years, it's finally here. Now, what do I think of this game? After all this time or all this year, all I have to say is thank goodness the wait is finally over. Thank goodness I was able to live this, be able to play this game. Thank goodness. Also, the cover art is so good. I think Metroid Prime 3 might still be my favorite cover art. Hold on, let me pull it up. There's just something about Samus with like the corrupted darkness here and then dark Samus here and the planet like almost looks like dark aether, like lighting, and it's all red and corrupted, and there's the blue earth looking like Norian. There's just something about this cover that I really like that I have as my wallpaper on my computer, but still a really cool cover with the psychic abilities, Lamorne, the desert in the background, some areas, some of the Cybots. Very, very interesting. The Switch 2 version just talks about the graphics and mouse controls, and it has a free trial for online, which is cool. And there's also reverse cover art. Got the cartridge here. Let's actually look at the art here. It looks pretty cool. I don't really know what's going on here. She's kind of just running. But it looks cool. It's just like a weird image to have, I feel like. But whatever, let's get into the game. Okay, so here we are in the game at the main menu. And the main menu, I gotta say, like art direction, what I'm looking at is really, really cool. It looks like the Chronos teleporter thing. And when you immediately go in a game, it asks you if you want to go on performance or graphics mode, which is really cool that this game even has that. You unlock hard mode, and the save station thing is how it used to be in Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3. In this game, on normal and casual, you refill your ammo at save stations as well as your energy. So, let me give you the backstory of how I feel about this game. So, when I first started the game, it started off really, really good. Like, the beginning of the game is amazing. And I noticed a lot of people's first impressions were, yeah, the game is amazing, but then they only played, you can tell how much of the game they played is like, they only played this part. But as soon as they play more of the game, they have their full review of the game, they feel like how I do, where the game, they said, starts amazing, and they're right, it does. And then as you go on, like, wait a minute. We thought this was like the other games, and then we'd keep going on, and then it's not quite like it. So this beginning part is just like Metroid Prime 3. I have nothing wrong with this at all. Like, animations, visuals, everything about this game in that regard, Samus's aura farming, is amazing, okay? But for some reason, for the scans are like Metroid Prime 3, when you already scan something, it would be green. In this game, to scan something, it's green, and when it's not scanned, it's gray. It's so hard to tell the difference. See, look, it's gray, not glowing green. It's barely a different shade. It's like, yeah, sure you can tell, but just barely. Why not make it yellow like some other like important things you scan? Those are yellow, or like orange yellow. But then, I don't know. That's just a minor complaint. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme. Scanning can kind of be annoying sometimes. So this first part I have no problems with. It's actually a faster opening than Metroid Prime 3, which is fine. I don't even mind the opening in Prime 3. I like it, how you go from the GFS ship into Norian. Then you got a Ridley battle and all that stuff, right? This is basically all that together condensed to one area, which is fine. See how this is the yellow thing I was talking about? That's how the unscanned thing should be, the important things. The music as well in this area is also really good. All the space pirates and stuff like that. Fortunately, this is the only time you ever see the space pirates during the entire game. Maybe if there's Metroid Prime 5, they come back, because you really don't see them. But yeah, as you see, Power Beam, Charge Beam, all here, just like Metroid Prime 1. Nothing wrong there. Game looks beautiful. Action is good, gameplay is good like normal. The movement you get with the Morph Ball in this game is also amazing. Got the Boost Ball at the beginning as well. All the upgrades from Metroid Prime are here. Usually just in a slightly different way, which is totally fine. I don't really have a problem with having new upgrades or not, as long as, you know, most of the stuff is good. That's all that matters. But yeah, the controls are just like Metroid Prime Remastered, other than to scan you press the X button, and then Morph Ball is Y instead of... Well, maybe it was Y in Remastered, but scan is X and then missiles R for this game, so that's how that is. And there's a lot of cool ideas, like I was saying. This beginning of the game, you would think it's just in any other Metroid Prime game, which is good, that's what we want, but as you go along in the game, for some reason the areas and the way they're designed are like, Metroid Prime 3 is linear, but there's like times you go back, explore, get some upgrades off the beaten path. And the maps are designed that way, so you can do that. But for some reason in this game, once you go through an area, like sure you can go back and there is some little things, but there's hardly anything. It's very like, oh, there's this thing here, and there's this thing here, and as soon as you get that, you can leave the area. Like, the Great Mine area in this game is so linear. It's literally a straight line when you're there in the combat, and I haven't even tried going back there since, because I just, like, I didn't even want to. Like, I just didn't even care. And I'm going to show you that as I go here. This is the first boss, and this boss is totally fine, especially for like a tutorial boss explaining how the game's mechanics work. The problem is here, I thought this was just the first boss where, you see how I'm aiming at the center and then I have to aim towards the sides? The problem with this is every boss later on turns into this. Apart from the first one in Fury Green Carvex, that one is completely unique. That one's a great boss. The one in the lava pool is also pretty cool. But every other boss is the exact same thing. It's like, okay, lock on the middle and then shoot to the side. And then that's the whole boss. There's no like, cool, go into Morph Ball, do this mechanic. Like, nothing like a Morbus in Metroid Prime 2 or like Quadraxis in Metroid Prime 2. And the thing is, I'm someone who has these issues with bosses because Metroid Prime 2 has like the best bosses in any video game ever. And if you've never played Metroid Prime 2, you wouldn't know that. So you'll get more enjoyment out of this game if you haven't played the other games, like 2 and 3. But if you've played 1, 2, and 3 as much as I have, then you're just not going to like this game as much as 1, 2, or 3, unless you didn't like 2 or 3 as much or something like that. So let's get into like more of the area design and stuff like that. Okay, now before I get into this, I will be going into spoilers. Whether you think they're vague spoilers or bigger spoilers, that's up to you. I'm just warning you. If you want to play the game, you probably shouldn't listen to what I have to say. If you're not going to play the game anyway, or you already finished it, then yeah, I'm not going to, obviously not going to change anything. But anyway, during the game, you encounter the Galactic Federation troopers, and personally, I don't even hate them. Uh, they're definitely talk more than, you know, your regular trooper in Metroid Prime 3, which is fine, considering they're more like actual characters. And I don't have a problem with them. I can understand why people would have a problem with them. or why you don't like them or whatever. That's fine. Removing the feeling of isolation, yeah, I don't really particularly like it as much, but it's not the worst thing in the world. The main thing, as we look at the map here, this is Fury Green. This is the whole map of Fury Green. Do you see how small this is? This is the whole map. I should not be able to look at the whole map in one panning view here. It's literally, look, a straight line here, and basically a straight line there, and that's the whole area. This big, almost looking, this is where the tree should be. You can never go in there. Why? It looks like it's a part of the map, but it's not. This bridge, there's nothing here. It's just a little section connecting these two areas. Once you come back to Fury Green, you're only really going here to give Mackenzie your little beam upgrades, which in this game are like missiles. You have the ice missile, the plasma missile, and like the thunder shot, which is basically the wave beam. And they all have limited ammo like Metroid Prime 2, which was also a controversial thing. And I don't know why you would want to go back to a controversial mechanic. The Galactic Federation Prime 3 was controversial, the ammo types were controversial, and the type of action gameplay in that game. And yet they went back and used all of those things for some reason. I just don't really understand. And the Psychic Beam is also cool. You can upgrade it by getting the green crystals, but there's another problem with the green crystals that I want to get into in a second. But yeah, when you see me like shooting enemies, yeah, it looks like Metroid Prime, you know? Business as usual, nothing wrong with that. And like I said, I don't really have a problem with the abilities or stuff, but the problem with these ammo is in Metroid Prime 2, the the beam types were all, they had their own separate things. So if, let's say this thunder shot was the dark beam, and this missile was the light beam. The light beam, as you can see on the right side, it has its own ammo for the missiles. This dark beam, it takes the ammo out of all three of these. So the ice shot, thunder shot, and fire shot are all taking the same ammo. So if you want to go crazy on one enemy using one thing, but then another enemy needs this thing to work, you can't really do that without using the ammo of the other type. And now some people said, oh, this is better because there's way more ammo and it's a lot easier to balance out, and the save stations recharge your ammo. And some of this is true, like save stations recharging your ammo kind of fixes the problem. But the problem with all three ammo types using the same ammo, when you're in a boss, you can't preserve one ammo type to get the other ammo type. When you use one ammo type and you can't get more ammo, then you're just out of ammo for all three of them. So that's where the problem comes from, that, where instead of just having two beams that both need ammo, it's like Annihilator beam using ammo types, but instead of two beams using ammo for, using all three of them at the same time. So it's like, it's better in the game because you ammo recharge at save stations, but it's also worse because you're using ammo for all three types of beams. And because the beams, like I said, are more missile based, they're not as fun to use and you can't just shoot them, you always have to waste ammo. So that's how I feel about that. The beams are not as good as they could be or should be, in my opinion. That's just a little thing, kind of like the scans. These little things, though, they kind of add up to bother me. But like I said, the biggest problem for me, I'm going to link a bunch of videos in the description of things that I agree with in other videos, but Nintendo Land really said it best, where the biggest problem he had with this game is just the level design of the areas. They're like way too linear, and they're not big enough. They're just such small areas, and in such a big game like this where you have this giant desert, you would think you would just make the other side areas bigger. And then if you remove the desert and combined all these areas together, it would literally play just like Metroid Prime 1 and 2, and it'd be totally fine. So I don't really hate the desert, but there's really no reason for it to be there. Everything that's done in that area could be put in another area and it would be better. There's just no reason for it to be there. There's no reason it needs to exist. And therein lies the problem. If it doesn't need to exist, then why is it there? That's the problem. So that's what I think about that. The shot expansions are your ammo expansions, just like missile expansions, there's power bomb expansions, there's all the usual stuff, and that's cool and that's good. That's, you know, your normal Metroid Prime stuff. And the problem is, Fury Green is such a cool area. I love the music, it's amazing. Some of the best in the whole series, out of all 4 games. And even in, freaking, the other areas, like the design, the visual and stuff, they're not bad, but their areas are so small you don't get to spend enough time in them and actually, like, explore the areas, because there isn't really much in the areas. Once you get through the linear area, that's just kind of it. Like, you come back to Volt Forge for, like, one thing, it's at the entrance, and then you can just leave immediately. You know, because the area is so small, you don't need to get anything else there. And maybe I'm crazy, let me know, but I just overall think the level design in Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3 is better than this game, because the areas are bigger, there's more to do, there's more off the beaten path, it's not just a straight line to an area, and there's more you can do in each area because of that and how it plays. Also, the suits in this game look amazing. Like this last one that you get after getting enough green energy crystals, which you need to finish the game, are really, really cool. There's another problem with the desert area. There's like the Chozo artifact quest at the end is basically there's only 6 of them, which is nice. There's 5 in the desert area, which makes sense. But then for some reason the last one's not there, and it's in the molten or the flare pool. I don't know why there's only 1 in the sub area when they could have put like at least 1 in each area. That definitely would have made me more encouraged to explore these sub areas, but unfortunately that did not happen. But it's not the end of the world or anything. The end of the world or the problem with that last quest is getting those 6 parts for the mech is totally fine. It's like your Chozo artifact parts, which I actually like. In all 3 games they have a type of thing like that. Metroid Prime 3 does it the best, but I don't mind in any of the games too much. Metroid Prime 2 probably has it the worst, because you can't really get any of them except 1 until the very end of the game, which obviously is a problem. But with this game, you don't just have to get those 6 parts, your Chozo artifact equivalents. You also have to get the green energy crystals, and the amount of green crystals you need to get the suit that I'm wearing right now, I thought was optional. I actually didn't know it was required because I got it during the game before they required it near the end. Apparently it's required, and the amount you need for it is crazy. And it's not like, I mean, there is a lot of green energy crystals that you'll get and you'll see by driving around the desert, which I'm going to show you in a second here, but it just didn't need to be required. If it was optional, it'd be totally okay. It's like, you want to grind, go ahead, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But it was required? And you don't have to get them all, that's just for 100% completion. But you have to get almost all of them. It's at least like 80-85% of them. And that also means going into these little shrine areas for these beam upgrades, which are kind of like their own super missile equivalents, where you can charge them like this. And some of them will be like a supercharged beam, like Wave Buster type of thing going on here. And another one will be like, shoots multiple ice missiles out, kind of like the Seeker missiles in Metroid Prime 2 and 3. So those are cool. They're not as cool as they could be or should be, but that's, like I said, another minor thing. It's mainly, why is there so many green energy crystals, and why do you have to collect them to beat the game? That just shouldn't be the case. And the bike, I think, controls pretty well. I think it looks really cool. But we don't need this bike, and we don't need this desert area to connect these areas, because you're gonna see when I drive from Fury Green to like Volt Forge or something, once I get there, it's not like seamless where it's like, oh, I was in Fury Green, I'm gonna drive there, and then it's another, like, you just saw I went from Fury Green to a loading screen to then to this area. I'm gonna drive there, then it's gonna be another loading screen, and then I'll be able to go in that area. Which is silly, because what's the point of this area bridging the gap being the quote-unquote loading area like the elevators were in Metroid Prime 1 and 2, when it's not really a loading area? There's just still the loading areas and the barren desert in between. Now, it's not like there's nothing in the desert. There is the shrines, like I said, the missile expansions, some power-ups, Viola boosts, you can get multiple, stuff like that, which is the shrine right here. You get more green crystals out of these, which encourages you to go in these, but it just, either they should have went more into this area with more stuff, or it just shouldn't be in the game at all, which is what I think. It would make the game
more feel complete and connected, each area to each other, and then it would feel not as forced on the player to collect all these things that they don't want to do or need to do. Like, I don't mind because I like the game. I think it's good, but it shouldn't have this thing. Like, inherently just makes it worse. It doesn't make it better or add really any value to it. If it doesn't add value, why is it there? So I'm gonna get to the next area that I kind of want to explain, because Volt Forge is good, Fury Green is good, even though it's too small and too short. The area's designed overall pretty well. The main area that I had a problem with was Ice Belt. Lava Pool was pretty much a similar story, but I'm gonna get... Okay, so I finally drove over here. You'll see the area opens up. You'll climb on up here, and it's just gonna be like another little elevator equivalent loading screen, and then you're in the area. So, like I said, why is the desert area here if it doesn't really link the areas? They're still separated from each other, and there's still a load thing in between. I just don't really understand the point. It's supposed to feel interconnected, but it doesn't really connect anything. That's what I mean. So, as we go into the ice belt here, I'm going to look at the map and show you. It is... Like, look! That was a walking animation loading screen, then there's an elevator animation loading screen, and then there's a tram. If there was all this stuff, it could have been... This could have been in Fury Green elevator, and then I took the tram, and then there was an ice belt. Why is there the desert in between? I don't mind these little load things, but why have the desert if there's these load things anyway? That's why the load things exist in Metroid Prime 1, 2, 3. Because they weren't connected, but these are. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. So anyway, this is my least favorite... Well, Great Mine might be my least favorite area in the game, but... This area had like no music when you're going through it. It's much more ambient focused, and this is the entire top floor. This is the entire second floor, third floor, fourth floor, fifth floor. There's nothing really on the fifth floor, that's just the boss. The power station is a straight line, and then the medical base is actually decently sizable. It's not like it's small. It's just, when you go from these areas to areas, there's not like much off the beaten path. Like, when I was looking at the alternative paths in other games, it was like, oh, this door, I have to come back here later because it leads to here. And I need to go get this item to unlock this door that leads to the whole new area. There's not... That just doesn't exist in this game. Like, there will be that one door that you can open later on, but that one door will get you that one item, and then you just leave immediately after that. There's no, like, extra exploring. So... if you kind of listen to what I'm saying, you can tell my main issue with this game isn't the gameplay necessarily at its core. It's good, the visuals are good, the music is good for the most part, and all that stuff. It's mainly just like these little things where level design of the areas, if they were just on par with Metroid Prime 3, where you would take that linear path but then expand upon it with extra pathways and doors that you come back to later on, it would be a better game, and it would be more fun, and I would like it more, and it would play more like Metroid Prime 3, 2, and 1. But because it doesn't play like those games, and overall, I know I've been rambling for so long, but you can tell I really care about Metroid Prime, and I really do care about this game. Because I do think it is a good game, it's just a very flawed good game. So, overall, most people were saying it's like an 8 out of 10 game. We're like reviewing it that I agreed with for the most part, and I think I would have to agree, where the game is definitely good, but it's definitely flawed when they've had all these games to look at in comparison. That it's like, why should we do this thing, or we should do this thing? And I think a lot of the new ideas they have are pretty cool, like the bike in itself, but the desert area doesn't need to be there. The bike doesn't need there if it needs the desert for it. Like, if it was just in areas like it was in Volt Forge, then it'd be really cool. But yeah, overall, I like the game. It's good. It's worth playing if you're deciding whether you should play it or not. I think you should decide for yourself. Don't let anyone tell you whether a game is good or not. Like, if you played the game and you liked it, that's great. I'm happy for you. Actually, that's a good thing, because then that means if it sells well, we're going to get Metroid Prime 5. And that's the thing. The ideas in this game are good, even if the execution isn't as good, at least in my opinion, like I said. If they can take the good ideas from this game and remove the bad ones with the next game, they would have a really good Metroid Prime game, and it would stand up to the Metroid Prime trilogy. This game by itself, with all the ideas, it's like lack of... It's like it was like trying too many things, and that's why I didn't like it as much. But overall, it's a good game. I know I'm rambling and I'm repeating myself, but overall it's a good game. It's worth playing. I specifically recommend it if you've never played Metroid Prime 1, 2, or 3, or specifically 2 and 3, because you have significantly less things to compare it to, and you're not like me that during the game where you're like, why is this way, why is this way, when it's like this in this game. So if you haven't played those games, you will probably like it more than I did, and you'll enjoy it more, and you'll probably have fun. Although, there is something I have to say, people who have played Metroid Prime 3, they're saying Metroid Prime 4 is better, and I have to disagree. You'll see, I'm going to make a Metroid Prime 2 and 3 video going over those games and why I like them so much, and explaining my reasoning. So this is going to be a whole thing on my channel. So overall, after 8.5 years, yes, it was disappointing. This game wasn't as good as I hoped or thought it would be, but it's okay. It's a good game. It is worth replaying or playing in general. Some people hate it, some people love it, some people like me, we're kind of somewhere in the middle. It's more disappointing because I waited so long and I had such high expectations. It's partially my fault, but it is what it is. So, if you played the game, let me know what you think. If you haven't played the game, let me know what you're thinking, watching reviews and stuff like that. And yeah, that's... I don't think I can yap anymore because I don't know how long this video is. It's probably going to be decently long, but that's all I have to really say about Metroid Prime 4. Like I said, overall it left me feeling disappointed, but if they do make a Metroid Prime 5, I will be excited for it, and it probably will be better than this game. So, let me know what you think. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to see the other Prime videos that I will be working on soon. And yeah, that's all I have to say for this one, and I will catch you in the next one.